I stand on my 2 feet. I'm in my proper person. I am sovereign. I am man. The flesh lives. The blood flows. I challenge the jurisdiction, and if jurisdiction cannot be proven, I move to dismiss this case.
That would be denied.
Along with the officer and sergeant, who are already going to be getting sued. There's no need to add you as well.
Any threats to sue me or to take any action against me, I can't be swayed by that. So
it's not a threat. It's just what it is.
All right, today we've got a wild one, a court case featuring a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen. This guy's making some strange claims, like proudly stating he's a living person standing on his own 2 feet, as if that needed clarification. It gets even crazier when he announces he's planning to sue the judge. Yeah, that never goes well. You really have to see this to believe it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's dive in and watch this hearing unfold.
Go ahead and have a seat, please. His rights at arraignment.
My honor. So, for the record, I've made this special visitation under duress pertaining to the matters of Jonathan Troy, Faifu Leaso Maliatoa Schuster. For I am beneficiary, I am sovereign, I am man, the flesh lives, the blood flows. I am a non-U.S. citizen American national. I am sui juris imperfecta persona. I reserve all rights. I do not understand the status, and so I ask you, ma'am, what is your name? What is your nationality, and what is your status?
I'm Judge Grant. I am a citizen, and I'm the judge in this court. You are here subject to appropriate jurisdiction. So you are here for an arraignment. You've been charged with a crime. Today, you will be asked to enter a plea.
Ma'am, I object because a citizen cannot sit a bench, ma'am.
So I'm going to go through the information. It looks like you have been charged with driving with a suspended license, driving without a required ignition interlock device, refusal to comply, not having proper registration on the vehicle, expired over 2 months. And then there was also a driving violation. Wheels were off the roadway. Last 2 are infractions. So,
ma'am, jurisdiction cannot be proven unless status is established. You have not established status. And so if you cannot do that, I challenge the jurisdiction. And if jurisdiction cannot be proven, I move to dismiss this case with prejudice.
That would be denied. So I am going to, at this time, review for probable cause.
Object. Again, I challenge the jurisdiction, and jurisdiction must be proven.
It's not going to happen today.
Jurisdiction must be proven.
To hear the charges, and I will be reviewing for probable cause, and then we'll make a determination as to whether or not you will remain in custody. And I will hear from the prosecutor as to that.
And if you violate my rights even further, ma'am, as well as the officer and the sergeant that violated my rights, who are also going to be getting sued, it would just add to that. And I don't think that you need to go that route.
While I review this incident report. All right, I do find probable cause with the charges. I will be entering not guilty, please.
Ma'am, you cannot practice law from the bench. I object.
Noted.
You cannot enter a plea for somebody. That is, practicing bench from the law.
Unless you want to enter a plea of guilty, today there'll be a plea of not guilty. I understand you are objecting.
Ma'am, I object. I challenge the jurisdiction. Jurisdiction has not been proven.
Keeps claiming the court hasn't proven jurisdiction. But if that's true, why is he sitting there in handcuffs, wearing a jail uniform? Seems pretty clear the court's got him. Honestly, he sounds like he's watched way too many internet videos and now thinks he's cracked the legal system. He talks like he's about to drop some groundbreaking truth, but really, it's just confusion and bad information. I do wish the judge would point out, it's not their job to prove jurisdiction. If you're going to argue that, you'd better know what you're doing. He's not the wildest example we've seen, but he's definitely not making a strong case. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's jump back into
status has not been proven or established. And once again, you haven't even established, your nationality or your status. I am a non-U.S. citizen American national by way of American Samoa. I reserve all my rights.
Is this something that we need to consider a competency evaluation for?
We may need to consider ordering ability to proceed, but it looks like you have a driver's license that recently expired.
To question my competency, because I'm establishing status and asking you to prove jurisdiction is outrageous. And so, again, if jurisdiction cannot be proven, I move to dismiss this with prejudice based on the grounds that you cannot prove jurisdiction.
All right, I've reviewed this. You were driving in the city of Lake Forest Park. You were violating
Again,
the laws.
I was not driving. Again, I have rights.
You were behind
And
the
my
wheel.
rights were violated.
Labeling.
My rights were violated. My right to travel freely unencumbered was violated. There was no emergency in which the officer needed to put on his red and blue lights. And so, again, if status cannot be set, jurisdiction cannot be proven, I move to dismiss this matter with prejudice.
That's denied. So you've made your record. Right now, I'm going to directly appoint counsel from the bench. Ms. McDonald.
Again, I am
you.
sui juris in propria persona. I stand on my 2 feet. I'm in my proper person. And so I reserve all my rights.
I understand that, and I've acknowledged that. I'm not dismissing your case today. I'm going to hear from Ms. McDonald as to the city's position on release.
Yes, Your Honor, I am going to be asking that the bail remain the same. It looks like it's currently set at $2,000. I do have some concern regarding his willingness and ability to reappear if he was released on his own recognizance, as well as concerned about community safety and risk of reoffending, given his temperament in the court today.
And Your Honor, Mr. Schuster would ask the court to release him on his own recognizance. These are not violent offenses. I don't see that he has any convictions for violent offenses. There was an assault from 2021 that was dismissed. He may have a view of the law that is different than the city's, but that in itself does not indicate that he won't come to court or that he would in any way try to subvert court proceedings. So we'd ask the court to release him on standard conditions.
Well, the court can consider whether or not Mr. Schuster is likely to reappear for future court hearings. What I hear from him today is that he completely objects to this court having any jurisdiction. I don't have a good faith basis that Mr. Schuster will return if I were to release him.
It's hard to believe this guy would change if the judge let him walk today. His attitude screams like he'd just do it all over again. He doesn't seem to take the situation seriously, like the rules just don't apply to him. You can feel the disrespect, not just for the law, but for things that protect people, like insurance and accountability. The judge is in a tough spot here, trying to be fair but also needing to protect the public. It really makes you wonder, should courts get tougher on people who keep ignoring the law? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get back to
I do see that he has a prior conviction for DUI. He's on a deferred prosecution at this time in Seattle Municipal Court. He's not complying with conditions if he's driving without a license and driving without a required ignition interlock device. Also, indication that Mr. Schuster will not abide the court's orders to appear on his promise. Want to look at the Seattle Municipal case and see when he's next scheduled to appear.
Like he had mentioned too, in 2021, same situation, or not same situation, a situation occurred in which they tried to charge me. They didn't have jurisdiction. It was dismissed. And again, I don't want any charges against me because I do have the deferral, which would obviously violate that deferral. And so I will make any visitations, special visitations to the court to handle any matters pertaining to Jonathan Troy Faifale, also Maliatoa Schuster. I'm a man, I'm free, and I want it to stay that way.
I do see it looks like he's got at least 3 prior warrants. He has 2 priors out of Benton County, 1 out of Lower Kittitas.
Which have all
The
been cleared up.
previous court's history.
And throughout this process of going to courts, I've had to learn a lot. And so I know it's no game to just not show and make visitations. That's not what I want to do. And again, jurisdiction does need to be proven, whether it's today or another date. And if you want to violate my rights even further by not releasing me on my own recognizance, ma'am, was it Jennifer Grant? Then, like I had mentioned earlier, you, along with the officer and sergeant, who are already going to be getting sued, I mean, there's no need to add you as well, especially when you know the law.
I
I
do
don't
not.
see another. I
And
don't see another date set until February 12th of 2025 in the Seattle.
In
case.
Seattle Municipal Court.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Schuster, I have to do what I believe is appropriate in this case, and that is to set bail. And any threats to sue me or to take any action against me, I can't be swayed by that. So
Well, it's
you
not
can
a
do-
threat. It's just what it is.
Wild. This guy actually told the judge he'd add her to a lawsuit if she didn't let him out of jail. That's a bold move, and not something you usually hear in court. Honestly, I was surprised the judge stayed so calm. If I were in her shoes, I would have taken that seriously and handled it by the book, fast. Sovereign citizens don't need special treatment, but making a direct threat like that definitely crosses a line. Feels like it should have been shut down harder, right away. What do you think? Did the judge handle it right, or should she have been tougher? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get back to the verdict.
Because my rights have been violated, and if my rights are going to be furthermore violated.
$2,000. I do not believe that you will respond to the court's order to come back. I do base that upon the conduct in this case, as well as the prior FTA history. So bail will be $2,000. If you're able to post bail, you are to return for your next court date. You are to have no criminal law violations. You're not to drive unless you have a valid license and insurance. And
When are you setting that court date, miss?
Is required by the Department of Licensing. You are, you will be represented, because I'm going to assign counsel.
I am sui juris in propria persona. I present myself. I don't need to be represented by anybody. I stand on my own 2 feet.
These are criminal charges that have significant consequences for you, so it's in your best interest to have counsel.
Again, I
assist
stand
you.
on my own 2 feet. I do not need to be represented by anybody. I present myself, sui juris in propria persona.
If you want to be your own counsel, you'll have to go through a full colloquy and waive all your rights to have representation. It's your constitutional right.
I do not accept being represented by anybody. Again, I present myself. I am beneficiary. I am sovereign. I am an American national, a non-U.S. citizen American national by way of America Samoa, like I had mentioned earlier. I reserve my rights, and I do not need to be represented by anybody.
That definitely didn't go the way he thought. It really seemed like he expected to just walk out of that courtroom. I'll post part 2 as soon as I find it, so stay tuned. In the meantime, drop your thoughts in the comments. This guy was definitely one of the more difficult sovereign citizens we've seen. Honestly, the whole lack of jurisdiction argument is tired. It never holds up and usually just delays the process. It feels like they're always stalling, looking for an easy way out, but it never works. As for the judge, I think she could have pushed harder at times, but maybe she was letting him talk to lock in his position for the record. Either way, this hearing was chaos from the start, and I'm curious how it ends. Should the judge have stepped in harder, or was she playing it smart? Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.
All right, the time for trial expiration is 8/9/24.
Again, if you are practicing law from the bench and putting a plea in for me, I object to that. You cannot practice law from the bench.
Next court date will be
We want to try for next Wednesday or even the week after that.
Well, next Wednesday's a holiday, so the 18th, which is pretty full. So I was going to set this on June 24th. That's 2 weeks out.
So for the record, you have not established status, you have not proven jurisdiction, and you're denying my rights. Is that correct?
I don't know what you think would establish my status, but I do have status to sit in this court.
You are a
and hear
U.S. citizen. A U.S. citizen cannot sit a bench.
Sign for your next court date.
You're asking me to sign something that you pleaded for me. Is that correct?
I'm giving you notice of the conditions that I have set as well as bail.
You said
I'm
yes,
noting
you
that I
pleaded for
found
me.
Probable cause. If you are able to post that bail and get out of custody, those are my expectations that you will come back on that court date and that you will abide by the conditions that I have imposed. Those are being ordered today. So that is what's happening today. And we are giving you that notice. You can refuse to sign that notice, and we'll note that you were provided a copy in writing and that you refused to sign.
I do not understand.
Which part of it do you not understand that you have a
I
piece
do
of
not
paper
understand how
with
you can
the
practice
document?
law from the bench.
I'm the judge and I am setting the conditions.
Well, you also entered a plea for me, correct?
What we're doing at arraignment is a plea is being entered. You're not pleading guilty, so on your behalf, I'm entering a not guilty plea.
So, correct,
You
you
cannot-
are pleading for me,
There's
correct?
2 pleas.
And if you
Not
plead
guilty
for me,
or
you're
guilty.
practicing law from the bench. You cannot practice law from the bench, so I object.
Right.
You're-
I'm going to give you that piece of paper and we're done with your hearing today. We will see you in 2 weeks. Okay?
Jennifer
Okay.
Grant, you will be
Okay.
taken further.